People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
So you've seen John Wick 3. Nice. I'm just trying to work.
You're working on my new video thumbnail? Thick outline around my body. Thick, T-H-I-C-C, of course. Obnoxious face.
So, just your face?
Some extreme statement that has nothing to do with the video overlaid on top of the picture.
Overlaid on the top as opposed to underneath?
How sick was Wick?
I enjoyed it.
Jesus, nice contribution. Maybe you should be the one hosting the show and I should just pack it up. Call it a gay. Sheila, you hear that? Terrence has this whole thing covered. Stag. Pack your shit. You're fired.
I really just want to finish this up and head home, Adam.
I get it. Okay. Big boss man comes in the room and suddenly porn isn't fappable anymore.
Sure.
Quick ranking from best to thirst. J-Wick 1, J-Wick 3, J-Wick 2.
Where did you even get that?
Get what?
Best to thirst?
Yeah, cause glug 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 glug, thirsty for more. Whore?
I already announced the fourth. The third definitely upped the creativity in the kill department.
Big time. I feel bad for the bad guy's private parts. Takes the name Wiener Dog to an entirely different level, right?
I think I read somewhere that they were Belgian shepherds.
Oh really? You read that somewhere?
Yeah.
That's odd. I didn't realize you still had a subscription to Bitches Monthly.
Is that supposed to be some kind of dog magazine?
Ezine. Try a joke sometime. Although it might not fit over your thick skull.
THICC?
No. You know who was thick? Halle Berry. At 52, she still makes my kangaroo, if you catch my cock.
I wish she was in it more. That section of the movie was perfect. The end kind of overstayed its welcome.
Kind of like my hookup last night. I Cosby'd a little dish at a club. I was yelling, "Timber!" Took her back to my place. The rest is my story. It's like history, but for me.
Jesus! You drugged a woman and took advantage of her?
I Heathcliff Huxtable to her. Did my best Cosby impression. You see, kids, the thing about the Jello pudding is the pops. She was stunned, absolutely floored, and couldn't resist a kiss from this handsome prince. Next morning, she was ready to go, but I said, H-E-L-L, no. Kicked her out of the door, Michael Jackson style.
Meaning?
Meaning, she was hit by a smooth criminal.
You hit her?
With the door? Yeah. John Wick can horse hoof a guy in the face, and I can't put a lady in her place? AKA get sprung out of my life.
Can you please get sprung so I can finish this up?
Finish away. Oh. And in case you were wondering, J-Wick 3 scores the same as my hot date last night. 8.5 out of 10 on this Adam scale. Enjoyed my time for sure. Just wish the whole thing ended a bit sooner.
Cool. Thanks for checking in, man.
And with that, I bid you adieu. Sheila, why are you still here? I thought I fired you. I'm about to go alien ant farm on your ass. AKA smooth criminal. Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
See you in a better mood than Terrence was this morning.
Wow, really? He's still pissed?
Interesting choice of words, seeing as this morning you came in dressed as the genie, painted head to toe in blue, singing you ain't never had a friend like P, at which point you literally threw an entire cup of urine, your own urine, in his face.
It was a prank, and it was water.
I can't imagine that was true. That smelled awful.
And right on cue. Jesus, you smell bad. Ever heard of a shower?
You mean besides the golden one you gave me a couple of hours ago?
How good was my genie impression, though? Right?
You didn't look or sound anything like Robin Williams. I'm just glad you took off the blue paint.
I was playing the Will Smith genie. I was actually playing Will Smith, playing the genie. So, layers of acting there I wouldn't expect you to understand. The paint removal did take a while, I'll give you that, considering I had to remove not just blue, but black paint as well.
Awful. Just awful. Did you even see the new Aladdin?
God, no! I think I've expressed disdain for that movie for months now. Or was that not coming through clear? AKA, the color of my urine.
Whatever was in that cup you threw was rust-colored and rancid.
Shouldn't you actually see that movie for the show? I mean, our jobs kind of depend on you going to these films and reviewing them.
Tell you what, out of the goodness of my dick, why don't you two go get some Tom Petty cash from Sheila at the front desk, run out and see it yourselves, review it for me.
You fired her last week.
Tell that to the dumb sitting at the front desk.
Whoa!
Not cool. Not cool.
No.
Not cool.
Calm down. Sheila can take a joke from time to time, unlike Professor Pee-Pee Pants over here.
You know, all the big outlets have had Aladdin reviews out for weeks now.
That's because they're out behind the studio lot, giving Mickey Mouse handies for early screeners. Oh, haha. Hi, movie critic. Would you like to see my next soulless film early? Haha. All you have to do is give this old rat a quick mouse pat. Haha.
It would just be nice to get paid. There was once a time where we believed in this company.
Do me a favor. Pretend I'm standing on an actual magic carpet right now. Do you trust me?
Okay, fine.
Terrence? Terry? What do you say, pal? You with us? Come on, buddy. I need you on this. Don't you dare close your eyes.
All right, I'm with you guys. God damn it!
Do me a favor. Pretending... Fucking this chair's gonna be broken. I was playing the Will Smith genie. I was actually playing...
You know what this meeting's for? I can confidently say it's for something stupid.
I want something to get me through this semi-charm kind of life. I just want to thank you both for staying late with me to talk shop. My only regret? Not bringing safety goggles.
It's 9 p.m. I was supposed to be home 4 hours ago.
We're all making sacrifices. As you know, our workday starts at 9 a.m. sharp. I don't get until 10:30, sometimes closer to 11. So we're all trying to adjust to the schedule that I created.
I'm assuming you're late because you were out looking for investors.
Sleeping, yes. Thank you for noticing.
Not where I was going with that.
Well, I can tell you where the company is going. If you would just... bear with me for a moment. That's a bear.
Such a long walk to get to that joke.
And pause for laughter.
Can we get on with it?
Of course. Want to say your name is Skent?
Really? You think my name is Skent? I've been working here for over a year.
You know what they say. Time flies when you're having...
Please, don't draw a gun.
How dare you? How double dog dare you, actually? How little both of you must think of me to go to such a dark place so early on. Are you guys familiar with ranking videos? They're usually a numbered 1 through 10 affair, oftentimes a grouping of sorts, related videos, that nature.
This doesn't need to be explained. We get the idea.
You might, but I'm looking at old Tear Bear over there, and his face is telling an entirely different story. Anywho, I notice all the other channels are ranking pretty much everything under the... gun.
Damn you.
Top 10 hottest Mortal Kombat femme fatales. Top 20 Chun-Li outfits to gank it to. Princess Peach cosplays ranked. Just cause. Channel.
There are so many of them already, dude. Watch Mojo alone makes daily content. They were so desperate, they actually featured you in one of their videos.
We're gonna make content that no one's even thought of before. For instance, top 10 Scarlet Witch flirting videos in the MCU. How's that
Did
taste?
she even flirt once?
Doesn't matter. We'll just take a bunch of out of context clips, throw in a fancy counter, and you both can start shopping for that dream car, because we're gonna be making that Watch Mojo coin.
Why?
Just do it! Make your dreams come true! Speaking of Transformers, they are always a hot ticket item. We can focus there. Top windshield wipers ranked. Or, and beer me out, glug 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 glug, best Megan Fox straddling a vehicle ranked.
That I would actually watch.
Right? I don't get here till 10:30, sometimes closer to 11. Here to murder me like they did the Justice League movie?
I'm worried about you.
Oh, really, Mom? Thanks, I'm fine.
Okay, I tried. Let me rephrase. I'm worried about this company. Couldn't care less about you.
Oh, didn't you hear? My last movie feuds netted a cool $10, so that should keep the lights on for at least another 5 minutes.
You haven't filmed anything in a week, let alone left your office, unless it's to take a shit or eat something.
Often, at the same time.
Gross.
Listen, Tristan.
Not my name.
I just need to unravel this twisted Zack Snyder conspiracy, and then we'll get back to business as usual. Short for usual.
This isn't healthy. Even if you find the whereabouts of the Zack Snyder director's cut of Justice League, then what?
Like beautiful doves at a wedding ceremony, I release it to the public for a hefty fee.
You're gonna hold the release of a fictitious movie hostage until some fans pay you ransom?
Exactamundo.
That's really messed up, man.
Did you catch my Demolition Man reference there?
I did, but can you stay focused on what I'm saying? This isn't healthy. You weren't sleeping. You got Terrence scouring the internet for crumbs of this movie edit that may not even exist.
How dare you! Lord Zack Snyder has confirmed many times over its existence. I have video proof in my office. I'll show you. I'll show you all.
I will not step 1 foot in that hellscape. Terrence told me that it looks like a scene straight out of Seven. There's photos and internet articles printing out and plastered all over the walls.
That's a bit of a stretch. To compare my office space to that of a serial killer's apartment?
There's a shit bucket in the corner of your office, which I'm assuming is now full since you've come out and used the toilet.
Look, if I don't find this cut of the film, someone else is going to. And that's not a chance I'm willing to fake.
Not the expression.
Well, I'm expressing it because you know what? For a small second, I thought I had the cojones to edit the whole thing myself. Drop the opacity by like 90%, pop up the contrast, sprinkle in a little film grain. But without Snack Snyder's additional footage, this whole thing is a joss.
A joss?
Whedon, the directing hack that took over for Master Snyder.
You had the first 2 Avengers movies. Firefly, Dollhouse, come on.
Oh, you like those movies. I wasn't aware you were still 8 years old. Hey Sheila, could you be a doll? Run out, get over to McDonald's, pick up Tristan a Happy Meal? Because apparently he still enjoys trash.
Still not my name, and Sheila's not even here. She had to take another sick day because the whole office smells like a Turkish prison.
Is that bad?
That bad? Are you seriously asking me that right now? Sheila brought in her cat 2 days ago, took 1 step in your office, and died. I'm assuming from the smell. For all I know, it's still in there.
We have a strict no pet policy here. This is a place of business, in case you didn't know, dipshit.
This is a pet cemetery. There's 2 dead birds on your window ledge. Perhaps you're trying to air out the stench at some point?
This conversation is interfering with my hunt. I'd have Terrence escort you out of the office, maybe even rough you up a little bit first, if I didn't know he was still sleeping in my office next to the cat on the floor. Often, at the same time. Look, if I don't find this cut... It's like shitting and eating. And we're live, hopefully. Presumably, conceivably. I'm Adam. This is Adam Does Movies Live. We're every Friday and Tuesday now. That's the thing I'm going with for the time being until I change it next week. But as of right now, Friday, Tuesday, I go live at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We chat movies, we chat movie news. I throw in some live reviews. It's a good time. I interact with the comments. I chat with you directly. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm getting used to that. I have a camera on top of a camera because when I record clips for the main show, I look into the nice camera, and when I'm talking to you, I'm supposed to look into that one. I'm screwing up right out of the gates. As always, I do have a Coca-Cola Classic with me. I was slumming it for a while and having to drink apple juice. It's just not a place I like to be. So I have a Moe's Coke. A lot of ice. It's already kind of melting. Had to turn off the AC in this room, so it's going to get sweaty real fast. Because the mic is pretty close to the vent, it would pick up the noise, and that's not something anyone wants. I do want to ask a little housekeeping before we really get in, because we have to do this for a while. Audio sound okay? Is it synced up nicely? We had a scare a while back. It took 45 minutes to get this thing running. I did pump up the jam, pump up the volume. We went a gain of 10 on the mic because the stream has been a lot quieter than the show. Bubba's asking how I live on the coast and still look like reflective tape. Well, Bubba, it's because I have a giant white light hitting me. Now, I could change the light. I don't know if I want to because it's going to screw up the camera. Let's see if I can do this without fucking up. I can go dimmer. I can change the color. There's lots of things we can do here. That's more of a yellow. I don't know if I'm huge on the yellow. People are saying the audio sounds good. I got some complaints about the reflective tape look in my facial features, but yeah, so that's a bright white. That's a Tony Stark white. I just don't want to. I mean, we can go back to the yellow. The thing is, the iPhone, which is what I'm shooting on. Please, God, don't mess with the settings. And they're giving me a hard time. I'm sticking with this yellower look. I don't know how it's going to turn out when I move the camera footage from the iPhone to the computer because there is like a visual quality difference when it transfers. I don't know why. It's stupid. I don't like it. Oh, Shadow Hunter says, keep it at what it was. You looked fine. I'm going to bump it up one more. We are still in the yellow phase, but let's see if that makes a difference at all. I think that looks pretty good actually on the phone camera too. So we're going to stick with this. I'm happy with this. Your skin tone is too red on the yellow. Jesus Christ. What is it going to take for people? Sorry, Matt. We're going to do one more pass at this. This is all, I just want to point out this is all Bubba's fault. I think this was the light I had before. We're going to go with this one. I think this is right. Use a green light and be Shrek. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go bump up one more. There we go. Camera's moving, camera's shaking, everything's happening. We have some conversations to be had today, folks. And let me get to them. Okay. Oh, by the way, I posted like 5 videos today. Here's the plan. Because I have a new plan every month. So here's the new plan, and this is the one that we're gonna stick with for a while. Adam does movies. We do the movie reviews, the rants, the reactions, the news. It's all housed under Adam Does Movies. That's the show. That's the only show, and that's how it's gonna have to be because YouTube hates any sort of outside the box thinking. At least when you're still trying to grow the channel. When we do these live streams, Tuesday is basically me prepping videos for the rest of the week. So I'm going to try to get 5 or 6 news stories out of that. Maybe we get a couple out of that today too. Today's going to be a bit more chill though, because I didn't see a ton of new stuff coming out. I hope to get like 2 or 3 videos out of this as well, while talking with you guys in between. That's the goal. And then what we do also is I'm going to take those 5 edited videos and put them into one longer 45-minute video and put that on the channel on Monday, and it will release as a podcast. I do have a podcast set up on Spotify, on Apple Music, wherever. I think it goes out to the major ones. There's nothing there yet, except for my channel housed, or station, or whatever the hell they call it. But every Monday, the idea is to release what we record today, except for obviously edited down without all this kerfluffle in between. I'm still looking at the wrong camera. God damn it, I gotta get used to this. Yeah, you'll just have to yell at me too in the comments if you see I'm not looking at that guy and I'm looking at that guy. And vice versa, when I'm recording, I am gonna be looking down more. If there's no other thoughts, I'm going to get started with the news. Oh, what are people saying? Dude, you're a natural comedic creator. Thank you, Shadow Hunter. Or Shadow Humor, I apologize. When you stream Tuesdays, change shirts to give the illusion of new vids. Well, yeah, Bubba, obviously I'm not going to wear the Jurassic Park shirt on Tuesday. Although I do have a rotation of like 8 shirts. I do buy new shirts and then I hate them after I put them on. I'm like, oh, well, this was a terrible purchase. And then I just go back to the well again. Shadow Hunter, Shadow Hunter, why do I keep saying that? Shadow Humor, you do more live streams, bro. Give opinions. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be giving opinions in a second here, if that's what you mean. I give opinions in every video. Zilla asking what my favorite 80s classic is. Favorite 80s classic. I think of mostly 90s classics. I have a hard time differentiating early 80s and late 90s. I have a hard time differentiating late 80s and early 90s. Like John Hughes stuff, to me, all feels like it's around the late 80s, early 90s. Like Uncle Buck, Home Alone. Like that stuff's all in the 90s, I'm pretty sure. But those are the ones that I always look back on very fondly, and they hold up incredibly well still today. Star Wars was 79? 76? Something that was way back in the day. Indiana Jones, obviously. I believe some of those were in the 80s. Back to the Future, freaking amazing franchise, which I'm going to be bringing up in a little bit. Yeah, a lot of classics I like. Kenzo says, sup. I might see Renfield tomorrow. My decision relies on your review, Rob says. Okay, well, we better get this show on the road then. Let's get to the first topic. I plan on just kind of prattling off about things, hopefully in a one take that I can later use the good quality footage and put on the channel as a separate video. We'll see how it goes. And then afterwards, we'll kind of chat about all the stuff I just barfed out. And you obviously kind of chat amongst yourselves as I go on through this. So I'm going to hit record on the camera. I'm going to bring up the audio because I record that separately. Test. Luke, I am your okay, that's right. Recording audio, recording video. Here we go. We'll get into creator video mode. Reboots. We've seen them. We hate them. We fear them. Sometimes we enjoy them. We let them slide. And on the rare occasion, they surpass the original interpretation. But for the most part, they are a bane on my existence and many others. And Amazon is hell-bent on making things oh so much worse. Let's talk about reboots potentially coming out in the next... Oof. They do not like that at all. We're gonna push through it. I don't know if hell's a swear word. Well, let me redo that one part. Unfortunately, Amazon is in the business of reboots now, and they have a plan, folks. And that plan, it's a bad one. I could not think of anything better than that. And that plan, it's not good. They have a plan, ladies and gentlemen, and that plan is reboot domination. Let's begin. Okay. Deadline recently dropped a knowledge bomb on us, and I'm going to just read verbatim what this thing says. It's not good. In fact, it's pretty ugly. Let me dive in. $1 billion acquisition, that's a big word, of the storied Hollywood studio. For the past year, since the deal closed in March of 2022, Amazon Studios has been sifting through the MGM library, identifying about a dozen initial titles for film and or TV development, including, and here's where it gets ugly, RoboCop, Stargate, Legally Blonde, I don't care about that, Fame, Barbershop, The Magnificent Seven, Pink Panther, and The Thomas Crown Affair. What are we even doing anymore? The Thomas Crown Affair? Who's asking for this even? Who are these people? It goes on. It goes on. Each title is being approached differently. Some are being steered toward film, some toward TV, and some big ones are getting both movie and TV treatment. For instance, Amazon Studios is in active early conversation on Legally Blonde, both as a movie and potential TV series. Potential, of course, short for potential. This is why you subscribe to this channel. Amazon has similar plans for Stargate. We hear both film and TV installments are considered. Likely a movie is going to be first. RoboCop being talked about for both film and TV, with the TV show possibly first. This is just, can we not make new stuff? And then, of course, there is the Creed deal, which is going on. You might have caught wind of that already. Michael B. Jordan has those movies coming out, but there's also spin-offs. Sylvester Stallone himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Rocky Balboa, the Italian Stallion, has signed off. He's come up with a deal with these guys to make more Rocky spin-off type things that are going to go to Amazon or wherever nightmares are born. Oof, 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 oof. And it doesn't stop there. There's other things. And it doesn't stop, of course, with Amazon. There's a Baywatch movie in the works, or a TV show. Who knows anymore? I remember it wasn't that long ago there was a Baywatch movie with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Zac Efron, other people. They were, for some reason, they were kind of the selling point instead of the hot women. I feel like there's certain properties that there's an expectation. If you make a Baywatch movie or TV show, why don't you put focus on the female body? Because that's kind of what the audience expects. Much like the Charlie's Angels franchise. Remember when they tried to do the Charlie's Angels reboot a couple years back and no one saw it? Because even though the actresses were beautiful, they didn't really show them off in that way. They made it seem more like a strong female lead movie. For ladies only. And frankly, it's about time. There's also scuttlebutt. That's a word that people said at one point in time, back in the day. That the Lord of the Rings, the untouchable Lord of the Rings, is going to be touched in all the wrong places by Amazon in the next few years. Not just the Rings of Power. That's fine. Let that trash be. It's got a second season coming out. I can't imagine the numbers are going to be great as that show went on, which I was pretty high on for the first 2 episodes. I had a good first impression. I was also very blinded by the Peter Jackson masterpiece trilogy of old. And I like the Hobbit movies. I eat it all up. So Rings of Power, I'm like, I will give this a chance. I have to be back in Middle Earth. Take me there, Amazon. And they really didn't. They kind of took me halfway and left me on the ditch on the side of the road to die. And then that show just dragged its lifeless corpse to the finish line. And by the end of it, there was only like 30% of the people still watching. So good luck with season 2. and very, very good luck with a potential new Lord of the Rings trilogy. I have no idea what they're thinking. There are certain films that are such a lightning in a bottle magical experience. I just don't see the point in trying to replicate that all over again. You have to get a perfect cast, you have to get a tight script, the right director, and you have to hope to holy hell none of these people die or go to jail in between movies. This is a financial risk on all accounts. Movies like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jaws, these are films that are just so good. They're damn near perfect to begin with, kind of like Harry Potter, which is being redone now. I just don't see it. And that's going to lead us to the next conversation, which is Disney, but I just have one more thing to say, and that's Back to the Future is very much going to, at some point, get rebooted or get the Jurassic World treatment or the Star Wars trilogy sequel treatment. It's going to happen. And the creator, the guy that owns the rights, Robert Zemeckis, knows this. There's a great article. It's from a while back, but I haven't talked about it ever. He's asked by, I don't know who, Telegraph it says, that is a Back to the Future movie going to happen? And he said basically, over my dead body. And he's like, it's going to happen when both me and Gail are dead. He actually said it appropriately. He said Gail and I. And then I'm sure they'll do it. Unless there's a way our estates can stop it. So Zemeckis, who unfortunately lately has been putting out some pretty bad movies, he is hell-bent on keeping this thing contained because he even looks back and says, listen, Back to the Future, it's a great movie still. Certain movies stay great. They just do. And we can tell news stories, right? We don't have to rely on old IPs because there's already a built-in fan base. I know that's the easy, lazy way out. That doesn't make it right. Make another movie that's like Back to the Future, but called something different, with a different plot. You can still travel through time. It's not that complicated. It's not that deep. I just thought that was kind of funny. I don't know. It's kind of a disaster, if you ask me. I just don't want to see this stuff happen. I don't want to see it happen. But what are you thinking? I want to know in the comments. Let me versions of Invasions of the Body Snatchers. Somewhere in the middle, they got it perfect. It's the Donald Sutherland one, I believe. I love that one, and I don't believe that's the original. The Thing wasn't the original with Kurt Douglas. That's the one that pretty much everyone loves. I'm a freaking huge fan of it. That movie's perfection, if you ask me. And they even tried doing that one again. But for the most part, they're just not very good. And even so, like, come on. They're also talking about redoing Poltergeist. Poltergeist! Are you out of your mind? Keep it where it's at. It's a classic. Let me know your thoughts, though. I want to hear from you. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, I want a new RoboCop. The one from the 80s, it's too campy now. It doesn't hold up anymore, even though they tried doing a different RoboCop and it sucked. We're going to try again. I have no problem if they want to do more stuff with RoboCop. I just don't like the idea of just re-skinning the whole thing. It just doesn't work hardly ever. All right, those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours. Like the video if you had some fun. Please subscribe if you haven't. I post tons of movie and TV content each and every week. Love to have you stick around. Take care. All right, we're going to stop that. We're going to stop this. Save it. Slap it. Snap it. Reboot Mania, we'll call it. Just for fun. Digital Dosage says, please let me know, because I screw up all the time on the channel, and it really sucks when I have to fix it in editing. Am I lagging out on this? Let me record that one part again. How embarrassing. How absolutely embarrassing. Here we go. Record. I think most people agree The Thing is damn near perfect. You got... I was gonna say Kurt Douglas again. I think most people can agree The Thing is damn near perfect. You got Kurt Russell in The Thing running around. You don't know if he's an alien by the time it's over. I mean, come on. Psychological thriller. X-Files made an episode based around it. Countless things have parodied it. Why touch it again? All right, that was enough for that. Kurt Douglas, Jesus. File, save. We'll call this one Reboot Fix. The rest was gold. Okay, digital. I appreciate any time people can correct stupid mistakes I make. Adam, since HBO screwed the pooch with Harry Potter, what do you wish they did their series on? Sully, there's like a million things they could have done it on. They could have done it on the auras, or the dudes that kind of are like FBI wizards that go around and solve crimes in the wizarding world. Do something on that. That would be sweet. Like an X-Files wizarding version. Or you could have done, one of the many house schools. That we saw 2 other ones in Goblet of Fire. So we know there's at least 2 other schools. I imagine there's more than that. They could have done the Hogwarts Legacy plot from the video game, which I'm still playing through, and it's awesome, and the plot's very solid as well. There's like a million ways they could go, but they know that the IP is on people's minds because of Harry Potter, not so much the wizarding world. They saw that the Fantastic Beasts blew ass. They walked away from it. They gave up, which is good because those movies did suck. But I mean, who really thought Fantastic Beasts was a good idea to begin with? That seemed like J.K. Rowling hubris on full display. Like, what's the most random thing I can spin into gold? Oh, how about a Fantastic Beasts movie? Because there's a book of monsters and a couple of references to it in the movies. Yeah, that'll work. Stupid. Shadow Humor with the $10 super chat. Keep it up, bro. I watch every video. Thank you, Shadow Hunter. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Douglas says, one movie you should check out with Kurt Russell is Bone Tomahawk. It's a combination. I've heard of it. I have not seen it. I have heard of Kurt Russell in Bone Tomahawk. He's also in... I've seen him in some really stupid movies. What was the trucker one he was in? Where he was essentially like battling against truckers on the road. Oh God, his car breaks down. I can't even remember the context of it. It was I feel like it was a late 90s or mid 90s movie. It was kind of the end of the road for Kurt Russell as a superstar. And they just kind of shat that one out. I remember watching it thinking, man, this isn't good at all. I think it's 2 words. Something, is dog in the title? Seems weird. Maybe someone in the comments will be able to help me with that. Oh, Breakdown. Yes, it's Breakdown where I got dog in the title. Breakdown. Yeah. Oh, Breakdown's classic. He's great as Snake Plissken in Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Escape from LA is like 1,000% schlock. I eat it up. I remember watching that movie a couple times. It was on HBO way back in the day. They had it playing. HBO used to be, they would have a new movie for the month. And they would basically play it every other night, it seemed like, for the entire month. So if you missed it, it was going to be on again very shortly. I remember watching Escape from LA on there quite a bit. A really dumb movie, and I love the ending of it, though. And it has a kick-ass soundtrack. Patrick Swayze was in Black Dog. Rob, that's exactly what I was thinking, because I often get Kurt Russell and Patrick Swayze confused. They kind of both have that same look, the jawline, And I think they both do that twitch thing with their jaw. I don't even know what it is. Kurt Russell's like a god amongst men about it. He can like twitch his jaw. Does like a flex with it. It's awesome. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China. I think they're redoing that as well. I'm pretty sure they're doing a Big Trouble remake. I feel like Dwayne Johnson was at one point attached to it, but he's probably at one point attached to everything. Black Dog was about truckers. See, now I have no idea now. Everything's confusing. Adam, are you still an Evil Dead fan? Got to see the new one early and thought it rocked. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, I am an Evil Dead fan. I'm excited. I think it looks really good. I feel like it's not going to be very playful like the Evil Dead movies. You know, there's that kind of dark humor to them. But you can let me know. Rob says 3,000 Miles to Graceland is good. I think I disagree. I think 3,000 Miles to Graceland was good on paper and had a good trailer. And then you see the final movie and all the great actors die within the first 10 minutes of the film. And then it's not so good anymore because you have a Kevin Costner who's kind of at his lowest point in his acting career. You have Kurt Russell, still cool, but it's really just those two. I thought I was so disappointed with that film because didn't it have like Christian Slater in it? There was like 5 pretty big names that were honestly kind of on their way out of the spotlight, but it was still a cool kind of pre-Expendables type of film. And it had a really funny, the beginning had that like weird CGI scorpion fight. Was Prodigy playing during it, or am I just confusing it because Prodigy has a scorpion on the cover of one of their albums? So I'm mixing the things together. The new Evil Dead has more jokes in it than the 2013 one, but still not as goofy as the originals. Yeah, okay, that's fair. 3,000 Miles to Graceland stunk. Yeah, Rob, I'm more in your camp. I watched season 1 of The Last of Us and it's okay. I like the game more though. I agree, Douglas. Yeah, I agree. You must watch the Evil Dead show with Ash, says Video Void TV. It's hilarious and satisfying ending. I heard, and I'm a big fan of that series. It looks like it does a good job kind of mirroring the Sam Raimi style. I do want to watch that. There's like a billion things on my plate, though, to watch, which isn't a bad place to be, but, you know, still. You know, the stream looks really bright on the YouTube. You should see the difference between Streamlabs, what I'm putting out, and what is showing up on YouTube. It definitely drops. It gets like 15% brighter on the YouTube final output. I could put a filter. I know people get mad when I fuck with things. This won't take more than a second, I promise. I can kind of just darken it a little bit. Let me darken it just a little bit. I'm going to drop the brightness by negative, let's go negative 10, negative 0.10. Just to calm it down a little bit. Listen, if I'm saying names wrong, it's because I'm live. I'm running fast and loose. I'm not on TV. This is YouTube. There's going to be errors, okay? There's going to be mistakes. You know what I mean. You don't look like you have radiation. Good, Rob. Rob had that one in the chamber for a while. He's like, this fucking guy, this clown. Should we move on to the next topic? I just have one more topic, which I think is a fun one, and then we can do the review for the movie and just chat it up for a while. Carl Jean Baptist, what was that Kurt Douglas and Sly Stallone again? I don't know. Did I say something like that? Oh, Tango and Cash. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yep. The Kurt Russell, Kurt Douglas thing is just all over now. It's all interchangeable. What's the temp in North Carolina, Adam? Well, Kenzo, I'm in South Carolina. The temp is, I don't know. It's hot. It's getting hot in here because I had to turn the AC off. So as this night progresses, I'm just going to be melting away. I'm going to be just a pool on the ground. It's probably in the 80s. I was inside most of the day. I was editing today. It was kind of depressing. Everyone's going to be saying Kurt Douglas after this stream. They'll probably be redoing Tango and Cash with like 2 females. It'll be Melissa McCarthy and someone else. Matt asks, why did you turn the AC off? Matt, you must have not heard, but the AC is right there. I can jump and touch it. And it blows loudly and it will hit off the mic and it'll make a sound that you guys will. Sully says, I always turn off the AC when I film my reviews too and never remember to turn it back on. Yeah. Snowed here in... Oh my God. We need to buy Adam a windscreen. Zila says, hello from New Zealand. Balmy 52 in Minnesota. You know what? Now that I'm hearing it, it's really not that bad. The AC isn't. For some reason before, it sounded like it was shot out of a cannon. Oh, God. I'm starting to sweat. It'll get cooler in here in a second. Yeah, I guess I was kind of just doing that to hurt myself because I don't... That's not going to pick up on the mic. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm stupid. Master Sergeant asked what happened. I don't know what that means. We just had to get the AC going, that's all. Okay, we're going to go into the second conversation. This is a doozy. This might be a little conspiratorial. I don't like to get a little, that saucy, but I think it's time we say a little bit on this subject. Okay, we got the camera recording. We got the audio recording. Take a sip of my drink. Cough. All right, here we go. Disney has an amazing ability to constantly be trending on Twitter and Facebook and whatever other social media apps they want to be trending on. And it's always for some stupid reason. A reason that gets people talking, arguing, debating amongst each other about why so-and-so was casted and how their skin doesn't match the character or they changed the sex of the character. And why are they doing this? Well, there's an old expression, there's an old adage. All press is good press. Let's talk about it. Kind of pulled that intro out of my ass. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Disney, for the most part, is creatively bankrupt. from the TV shows on Disney Plus that are usually nothing more than spin-off series or sequels or prequels or sidequels or requels or any sort of a qual. I have a qualm with it. To the movies that are the same exact thing over and over again. And we have the live action stuff. That isn't really live action for the most part. It's live action. It's animated characters now just 3D modeled. 2D animations now turned into 3D experiences. Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Jungle Book. Every single Golden Age Disney movie has basically been done or will be done in a few years. Aristocats? Yeah, that's coming. The one person that's looking forward to that remake is going to be very excited. Aristocats is right around the corner. And another one that's right around the corner is Lilo and Stitch. I don't know who's asking for this. Lilo and Stitch is a great movie. It's a great 2D animated classic. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why. Disney looks at this stuff, they look at their properties and they say, you know, we can just redo all of our own shit and just double dip on the money. And we already have scripts, so we don't have to really pay anyone. We can get a amount. Is do some sort of a gender swap or a race swap pretty much every time because that's free marketing. Now, this is something I don't like to jump into a lot because it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory sort of lingo. I don't have insider knowledge. When I say this stuff, it's completely speculation. It's just me looking in as an outsider and scratching my head why this keeps happening. But here we are again with Lilo and Stitch. The actress cast as, I have my notes here, as Nani. No, it's Nani. The actress that's cast as Nani, the older sister from Lilo and Stitch, has been cast by, let me say this again, Native Hawaiian. Let me back up. Let me back up. Do this part over. What's happening, according to the notes I took on this, is Native Hawaiian fans say Disney has a track record of whitewashing characters and they're not happy with the reimagining of Nani, the older sister of Lilo in the original classic. She's now played by a lighter-skinned biracial actor in the classic movie's upcoming adaptation. She's not pure enough for the Hawaiian fans, I guess is the problem. This whitewashing thing, yeah, there's a history for sure. Johnny Depp played Tonto at one point in time. Tilda Swinton played the Ancient One, who I'm pretty sure was an Asian dude in the comics. Scarlett Johansson's played like a black guy and a small little Chinese man. No, I'm joking. That's just a meme thing. Scarlett Johansson's played some funny roles in the past. Like she was Ghost in the Shell, whatever the name of that chick is. I only watched Ghost in the Shell for the nudity back when I was a teenager. I'm just going to throw that out there. And again, the Scarlett Johansson version for the same thing. The history here, though. We have a history here, though. They had a non-Arab play Jasmine. That made people mad. We had a black Tinkerbell. We had a black fairy godmother. We had a black Tinkerbell. We had a black fairy godmother. We had Ariel. We have Ariel coming up, who's played by Chloe Bailey, I believe. She's a R&B singer, now turned mermaid. So these are the kind of choices that Disney makes to get people riled up. Get people talking, because that in turn keeps it trending on social media. And any news about the movie is still news about the movie. So it drums up interest. Even if it's bad interest, people are talking about it. Headlines are made. Now, because I'm not a total ass, just a little bit of one, I still am cool with the diversity and all that. This is not a secret. Hollywood was very white for a very long time. Still have plenty of white male-led movies. I know some people get upset when I say that for some reason. They think that it's not a thing anymore and Hollywood just straight up hates white men. There are probably people that work in Hollywood that do. Maybe that's the flavor of the month or the year, but they're still making movies about them. Like, they can say whatever they want, but the proof is in the pudding. And on screen, we get white-led male movies every single week still. You can't deny it. It's there. I just saw one called Renfield. So a black Little Mermaid? I don't care. I have the original. What I care about is the quality of the film, and Disney has a track record of making terrible choices. Emma Watson is Belle? Beautiful on paper. She can't sing, so she's auto-tuned. Beauty and the Beast is like one of my favorite animated classics. It's one of my favorites. That movie was schlock. It was garbage. Lion King, don't get me started on the lifeless husk that Lion King was. There's a scene in The Lion King where an ant or some sort of an insect rolls a literal ball of shit down the hill. Because in the original movie, Mufasa talks to Simba about the circle of life, and when you die, your body decomposes and becomes the soil, and then it feeds other animals. So of course, because we're in 2023, the last few years, everything is just banged over your head, so they have to show us. So we have to see the creature roll the ball of shit down the hill and it convert into the soil, the topsoil, to grow a new plant that an animal will eat off of. That's exactly the problem, is the pandering is so over the top now. There's always been commentary. Hollywood's always been liberal, believe it or not. It just wasn't so annoying about it. The writing was smarter. It was less obnoxious. They would just kind of massage some of the lines people had in films. Now it's, you should think this way, you should act this way, or you're a bad person. That's not good writing. It's not enjoyable to watch. Even if I agree with a lot of the things they say, I don't think it's good writing. It's stupid. And it doesn't withstand the test of time because people grow as individuals. We shift, we change socially. The society doesn't just stay stagnant. But these movies are playing themselves. They're not going to hold up in 10 years. They're not going to hold up in 5 years. So all this kind of crap of swapping out characters and changing identities, and the person's not brown enough, or they're not white enough, or they're not whatever enough. It's so dumb. It's them taking the eye off the prize, and it's them misleading you. They're like, hey, here's another crappy live action movie, but oh look, the character doesn't look like the one from the cartoon. Start getting mad about that, and not the fact that we took a classic and we made trash with it. That's what I hate. Now, there's people that will say, Adam, don't watch it. Simple as that. Well, I mean, as a movie critic, I like to watch things and review them. But yeah, for mainstream people or for audiences, don't go see it. Vote with your wallet, right? Yeah, that's great advice. That's not the problem I have. The problem I have is every time Disney allocates resources to this, it's talent being taken away from a different movie that could be made. They're putting hundreds of $millions into this while some good scripts lay dormant on the table. And telling people not to see something is kind of pointless because regular Joe Schmoes aren't watching my channel on YouTube or listening to you spout off on, whatever, Facebook or something. They're not there. They're just going out because they see 2 movies a year and they're going to base it entirely off of what's familiar with them. There's a reason why old people watch black and white movies. They got Zorro on. They got some romantic thing from the 1940s. They listen to music from that time period because those are the years. Those are the glory days for them. And people working in Hollywood know that, and they bank off of that. They will keep making this shit until our generation grows up, and then they can change the game for the new ones. People get upset because there's trans characters and things, or gay characters and things. And guess what? The new generation, that's their thing. Hollywood's marketing to the new generation. It's not that they're like converting them into trans zombies or something. Like you see some of the comments like, this is part of the agenda. Well, what's the agenda? Please tell me what it is and how they're profiting from that agenda. It's just simple business. It's the same reason Budweiser has Pride cans. They see that there's value there. They don't give a shit about the social construct. They care about the money. Whether it's a good play on their part or bad, that remains to be seen. But I guarantee you they have people doing these numbers. They have counters in the back looking at this stuff. And they're like, yep, this will net us 10% more profit because Kid Rock is going to buy 50 cases of Budweiser and shoot them up in his backyard and think he's making a point. But he bought all of that beer from us. That's like already in their car. They're like, we got the Kid Rock money. We're good there. And so, yeah, this is more of a conspiracy thought on my part. I don't like to do them often because I don't know anything. I'm no different than any other regular Joe Schmo. I just love talking about movies. It sucks when all the politics and social stuff has to get mixed in so badly now. And there's tons of channels all over the place that are phony about it too. People that get like super upset about it because it does well in the algorithm. People like to watch those videos because they're fun to see guys get pissed off. Believe me, I get that. It's enticing to do. There's also the other side where they love everything. I had a character that made fun of that crap. Khaleesi Grimes 82. It was called The Cringe. People actually thought it was real because there's so much phony shit out there that I had to stop doing it. Like, it's everywhere. It's hard to keep track of everything. There's conflicting sources everywhere. You don't know who to believe. Well, just believe what you see. See the pandering going on. Is it in good faith that they cast different representation? Probably not. Does it hurt anything? No, it doesn't. It just gets people talking. It makes one faction happy, another faction mad. But at the end of the day, it's all about money for them. All right, though that's my hot take. I don't have like a hill to die on any of this. At the end of the day, I just like seeing good movies. What Disney's been putting out the last 5-6 years, not very good. We got some decent MCU stuff once in a while. We still get some good animated stuff once in a while. But overall, between the Star Wars and the new MCU and every movie that goes out on Disney Plus that's just a rehash or a freaking sequel, like Home Alone 55 or Hocus Pocus 2 or Disenchanted, it's all just garbage. But they know that there's an audience there that they can pull in, and they'll get a couple more subscribers on Disney Plus. They have the IP, they have to use it, or they lose it. All right, that was, I think, maybe a long-winded conversation, but it was one that I had to do, I think. I had to get that off of my breast. I want to hear from you in the comments, though. Keep it classy, keep it civilized if possible. Let me know your thoughts on all of this, what I consider kind of stunt casting. I just feel like you could find someone that can sing and looks like the original if you really wanted to, but they go a different direction and house it under the diversity thing or the, whatever they want to say, right? It's bullshit. It really is. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video if you had a good time. I would appreciate it if you also subscribe to the channels. I post tons of movie reviews, rants, news-based things. And I'd love to have more people here, so please stick around. All right, take care. Whoa. Felt like I talked for an eternity there. Hopefully I didn't lose all my audience. File, save, Disney casting rant, we'll call it, for tentative title. Okay, let's see what people have to say. Did I upset people? I didn't mean to. ASC Presents, really good rant. Mint Salad in the comments. If you haven't, Mint Salad has a channel at ASC Presents. Feel free to head over there. She's also a movie critic. I appreciate her. I appreciate what she does. So thank you, Mint. It's only Home Alone 8. Thank you for the correction, Bubba. I think if we're really serious about it, it was Home Alone 6. I'm pretty sure it was Home Alone 6, because there was the first two, the only good two. I'll fight anyone about it. The third one's trash. The third one with the new family, or maybe it's the same family, but no, it was a new family. The third one's with the new family. That also went to theaters. Then there was one. Yeah, that's right. All right, we got the two big video topics I wanted to get done out of the way. Now we have a Renfield review. This is spoiler free. I don't have a ton to say about it. I think let's do the Renfield review, and then I'll do some Q&A. We'll just chat. We'll just hang out for a while. I should be able to get through this one decently fast. New audio recording. Recording. Okay, we're good. You may not be aware of this, but there was a meme going around for many, many years that Nicolas Cage was in fact undead, a vampire. He's been living for hundreds of years, sucking the soul out of Hollywood in order to maintain his sustenance and continue living in the shadows. Well, they've taken that idea and they finally made it a movie called Renfield. I'm going to review it, spoiler free, right now. Okay, intro comes on. No, Nicolas Cage isn't called Renfield. He's actually Dracula. I can't even say it like Nicolas Cage. There's no way to really replicate Cage. He is who he is, for better and for worse. I really love the Community episode. If you haven't seen Community, fantastic show. But there's a whole class dedicated to if Nicolas Cage is a good actor or a bad actor. It's really hilarious. Anyway, I still don't know the answer. Here, however, he's kind of both. He's definitely hamming it up like crazy as Dracula. Joining him on his misadventures is Nicholas Hoult. He's Renfield. That's who the story's really about. I was a little worried going in that Dracula... I was worried going in that Nicolas Cage wasn't going to have that much screen time. Sometimes trailers are misleading. They show all the good stuff up front. This trailer is very misleading. It shows all the good stuff up front, but not because Nicolas Cage isn't in it. He's in it a decent amount, but because there's someone else in this film that's actually one of the main characters who's only in the trailer for maybe 5 seconds. And that's Awkwafina. America's sweetheart, Awkwafina. How does she keep getting work? I have nothing against her, per se. As a person, she's probably delightful. As a musician, I think she was a rapper back in the day, based on the name, probably a rapper. I doubt she's a country singer. I would imagine pretty solid. As an actress, she's the same freaking person every time. Half comic relief, half sage advice person. Here she is in it so much, I question how the trailer's even legal. I felt ripped off. Now, before I rant too much, I want to say Renfield, not a bad movie, not a good movie, it's just a movie. It's an hour and around a half, I think. Let me check. It feels like it was only an hour and a half. Yeah. It's thankfully only an hour and a half, so you're in and out pretty fast. The pacing's not terrible. There are good moments in this movie. There are jokes that land. There are some action scenes that are pretty great. But the overall completed package is a miss. Good little chunks sprinkled into an overall narrative that's just not very fun and engaging. What we have here is a story about Renfield. He's a familiar. If you don't know what that means, it's someone that has been chosen by a vampire to do their bidding. They have some of the vampire abilities, but they're not full-on vamp. They're certainly not to the level of Dracula. So we have a dude who's been kind of at the aid of Dracula for many, many years. I believe he's like 80 or 100 in this. And he has to constantly clean up Nicolas Cage's mess. slaughtering people, bringing him bodies so he can feed and get back, nursed back to health. And Holt's character is just not having it anymore. He wants out. So we have the kind of, so we have the scene you've seen in the commercial where he's at like an AA meeting with these people that are in toxic relationships. That's the story's overall kind of plot outline. That's the story's overall theme. It's about toxic relationships and how to break that cycle. We've seen this done in movies like Austin Powers, where Dr. Evil and his son go to the Carrie Fisher meeting group. We've seen it in Wreck-It Ralph, where he doesn't want to be a villain anymore. He doesn't want to be a bad guy. That stuff works well in those small little sequences, but that's Renfield's whole thing. He's constantly talking about how he can better himself and how Awkwafina's character will help him get there. And there's a love story. And I just felt like it should have focused more on the mentor-mentee relationship and let all that crap go away. Story stuff aside, what we have with Awkwafina is a strong female lead. And some people in Hollywood would say, it's about time. But I think we've had enough of that time. I'm really getting sick of the character who's so good at pretty much everything. What made Renfield fun was he had vampiristic tendency. What made Renfield interesting is he could kind of jump higher. He was stronger. He could rip arms off by just kind of pulling on him a little bit too hard. That was cool. But while he's doing that stuff in action scenes, Awkwafina's also doing pretty cool things. She's rolling on the ground. She's hopping off walls. She's taking out multiple people. Awkwafina is like 4'9", like a stubby little thing. I could pick her up and throw her across the room. At one point, she goes up at a dude that's like 3 times my size, and she's like, taking him out. It's just stupid. I know the movie's not meant to be taken very seriously, but it takes away from Renfield. And that's the problem I have. From a visual wait, what did this thing cost? I think I read that this was like a $90 million budget, which is just crazy. Hang on. Renfield budget. Oh my God. That's so nuts. After the movie was over, I thought to myself, this feels like a Netflix movie, probably had a pretty low budget. It did a decent job for the small amount of money it probably cost them to make. This was a $90 million movie. Almost $90 million. Visually, it's all over the place. The color grading is through the roof crazy. Sometimes it's got a greenish filter, a hue over everything. At other times, it's way too sunny in Philadelphia. It brightens up everything. There's one moment later on where I swear it was filmed on a fucking iPhone. Better not swear. There was one moment later where I swore it was filmed on an iPhone. They have Nicholas Holt's character framed up and the background is 100% blur. It looked bizarre. It looked awful. There's a couple scenes like that. And it just took me out of the picture. And I was just thinking, man, this must have been on the cheap. They either had bad reshoots done really quickly, or they shot this thing for like $5 million. I cannot believe it's a $90 million movie. End of the day, this is the type of film that feels like it should have been straight to streaming. It kind of reminded me of that Jamie Foxx movie from a couple years ago, maybe only a year ago, where he fights vampires. I don't even remember the name of it. So forgetful. It had a couple cool action scenes, but for the most part, kind of a mess. If you like a little bit more from this. There's one other actor in here that I really like, too. I don't want to forget about my boy Ben Schwartz. He's also in this. He's one of the Lobo kids. There's this whole Lobo mafia thing that's throughout the picture. That really ruins a lot of it too. There's Aquafina on one end, there's Lobo on the other. That whole thing is terrible. Ben Schwartz is always great. I've loved him ever since way back in the internet days of Jake and Amir on College Humor. That show was my jam, and Ben Schwartz was great in it. Here, he's trying his best. It doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. Editing-wise, really choppy as well. I think this movie probably was well over an hour and a half, and they cut the crap out of it. Action scenes are fun at times, but they are cut like crap. There's some bizarre shots, one of which he's kind of holding out his hand to Aquafina and she grabs it, and the next shot is only backed up a little bit and she's like plopping down. Very bizarre. I think it was the same shot and they probably just did an artificial punch in from a wide angle lens. It's a mystery. The whole thing's kind of a mystery. It needed another pass all around. And I think you should pass seeing this in theaters. Watch it when it's home on streaming. Save your money. There's other things coming out shortly. All right, that's the review of Renfield. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you see it already? Did you love it? Am I way off? Let me know in the comments. Like this video if you, like this video. Like this video if you like Blade. How about that? Like this video if you like Blade 1 and 2, not Trinity. We don't talk about Trinity. Blade 1 and 2, those are solid vampire movies all across the board. And I think I should get some of that. And I think because I brought it up, I should get the like for that alone, just for bringing up Blade. Okay, that's it. Have some... Oh, fuck, I can't end this thing. All right, that's it. Have some fun. Have some fun. Oh, you can also subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. I post tons of movie reviews, rants, things of that nature every single week. Would love to have you stick around. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thanks for watching, because of the vampire thing. Fantastic. We're done with Renfield. File, save, Renfield review. Cops are taught extensive hand-to-hand combat. Makes more sense than just normal girl. I don't know if you're defending Aquafina's character in this movie or not, but what she did was not cop moves. She did way more than just cop, like, she's dodging bullets. She's taking out 7 or 8 guys at once. It was ridiculous. Hey Adam, what score are you giving this movie? A Ren out of Ren. I'll see myself out. Yeah, please do. Please do. Cage and Holt were the only things worth watching. I'd agree. Wait for it on video on demand. Yep. Did push social politics. They have kids saying this country land of the free was built by slaves. The trailer was ratioed. Oh God, of course. Mia Goth is getting drug into the MCU with the new Blade. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that she's gonna be doing it. What the weird? Oh, my YouTube live previews showing something that's completely not what's happening on the live video right now. That's bizarre. I'll just ignore that. I'll ignore it. Nice. I want to see it sometime soon, says Mint. How do you say this name? I never know how to say this. Is it Defent? Defiant? Defent? I give it a tooth out of 10. Is that a 2 out of 10? Or a 10 out of 10? It has to be a 2 out of 10. What was I going to say? I'm sure it was very profound, whatever I was going to throw out into the ether. Def Vent. Okay, thank you, Def Vent. I'll remember that. This film wasn't on my radar. Don't see the appeal from what I've heard. I thought Nick Cage did a good job as Dracula. Yeah, I thought he was all right. I thought Cage was okay. He kind of went back and forth between schlocky Nicolas Cage to a little bit more fearful, scary Cage. He's a wild card at the end of the day, and I appreciate that. You just can't replicate it. The group therapist scenes were great too. Yeah, they were fun. They were fun. There's definitely moments that were funny. That's why I said I would watch it, but I don't think I'd go see it in theaters, especially when you in some places pay, you know, $12-15 just for the ticket, and then if you want a soda or something, you end up $25 in the hole for one person to go see Renfield. I don't think that's worth it. There's another vampire movie coming out, I don't know when, but they had a trailer for it before this movie, and it was like an old school, how do you say his name? Who's like the original vampire? He's albino looking, looks creepy as crap. Nosferatu. I can never say his name. Nosferatu. I can't say it, but there's a movie with the old ugly looking vampire thing, and it's on a ship in the rain. It's pretty awesome. Looks good. Nosferatu, is that how you say it? Nosferatu? I know the spelling. Nosferatu. Let me look up the pronunciation.
Nosferatu.
The spelling. Let's see.
Nosferatu.
No.
Nosferatu.
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 Nosferatu. Got it. No. I won't remember that. Master and Commander meets Nosferatu. That's a brilliant deduction. Nosferatu. Got it. Nice tofu. Master and Commander meets Nosferatu. That's a. Oh God, I got double audio. Sorry. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, I say we just open it up to a little Q&A. If anybody has any movie questions for me, we'll stick around for a good 15 or so minutes, depending on the quality of life, the quality of this conversation. Would love to hear anything you have to say. Chapman Reviews asks, what has been your favorite film of the year? God damn, I'm gonna have to look back. Movie releases 2023. I don't keep a running tally of things that came out that nothing. I don't think anything this year has blown me away to the point where I'm like, that's the one. Last year, the timeline here, looking back, I can't see anything that's really I think the last, outside of Renfield, the last 4 or 5 movies I saw, I was pleasantly happy with. I thought they all did the job that they set out to do. I'd say Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, if I have to be honest with you. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. Oh, the movie was trash. Man, January, February, March, April, we have 4 months in. I think Air might be my favorite movie of the year so far. It's kind of lame. Kind of a lame pick. What else came out that was a big time? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Air. What's your home address? I don't think I can give out that information. I can't disclose that. Rob Rush says Megan for him. Was that 2023? Matt Sclaro, hot with a $4.99 super chat. What's your top 3 Awkwafina movies? Well, Matt. Shang-Chi. That would be number 1 through 3 for me. It's the only movie Awkwafina's been in where I thought, she's okay. I'm all right with Awkwafina here. Raya and the Dragon was just miserable. I found her just grating in that film. I think she was in... No, she wasn't in Birds of Prey. What else was she in? Awkwafina. Ugh. Ocean's 8. Okay. Wait, she was in Jumanji: The Next Level? Who the hell was she in that? Okay, I'm going to say my 3 favorite Awkwafina movies are number 3, Ocean's 8, number 2, Shang-Chi, and number 1, Jumanji: The Next Level, because I don't remember her even being in that movie. So she must have done a good job kind of hiding away. If you could make a movie or a show off a current or past property, like a video game or comic, what would you do? Asks Bubba. If you could make a movie or show off a current or past property. Oof. I honestly probably would. No, I don't want to. I love the Uncharted games. That Uncharted movie was trash. But now that I think about it, an Uncharted movie is kind of redundant because the video games play out like movies to begin with. So I just didn't even see the point of them. I think I still stand by my Wind Waker animated movie. I think would be fantastic. You do a really beautiful animated cell shading style to it. You got the bones of the script right there off the video game, so that's something I definitely think would be a really cool movie to direct. Something else off of a property from the like comic book or whatever. Aragon, I love Aragon. I think that could work as a movie. I know they tried and failed miserably with it, and I think they are making a series, and I feel like it might be Disney Plus, which scares the crap out of me. That really worries me. I know Percy Jackson's coming out soon as Disney Plus as well. That's trouble. What's your... Have you seen a movie in Dolby Cinema yet? I was curious if it's worth the upcharge. Mike asked that. Mike Anderson. I don't know if I've seen a movie. Typically, I just go to the standard movie time because I have the Regal Pass and it's $21 or $22 a month, unlimited movies. And then I just go to the standard because it's the standard amount. I think I saw Avatar 2 in their big theater, the 4X or whatever the hell they call it. I didn't think it was much better. It might have hurt the fact that I didn't like Avatar 2. That might... On from Hong Kong asks, what's your most looking forward MCU film? Not a great sentence, but I know what you mean. What movie am I looking forward to the most in the MCU coming up? That's easy. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. In fact, it might be the only movie I'm looking forward to coming up in the MCU. And James Gunn, I trust. He hasn't steered me wrong with the movie yet. Big or small, he hasn't steered me wrong. Zilla asks, what's your favorite movie sequel? The first one that instantly jumps to mind is Terminator 2. I know that's an easy answer, but that's seriously the one that just jumped right out at me. Blade 2 is actually awesome. I brought a Blade earlier. I love Blade 2. I think that one's fantastic. X-Men 2, X-Men United, freaking great movie. One of my favorite comic book movies still. Top 10 easily in comic book movies. Empire Strikes Back, fantastic. I could do a video on top 10 sequels. That'd be kind of fun. Probably something a million people have done, though. Would you want to see a Nobody John Wick crossover movie? The Blind Mask. Oh, no, I guess I didn't say that. I was going to say, did you watch my video earlier when I talked about Nobody getting a sequel and hoping that it would? I thought I brought that up in there, but I didn't. I brought up they should do a John Wick X Atomic Blonde movie. I know Atomic Blonde isn't technically in the John Wick universe, but it was the same team that worked on it, a lot of them. And Charlize Theron is awesome. I think that would be a great duo. having them either fight each other or team up against someone crossover. That's a fun universe. And now we've entered complete campy Looney Tune territory with the later John Wick movies. So at this point, just go hog wild with things. The plots left the building a long time ago in John Wick. Oh, Digital Dosage. Aliens is fantastic. I still go back and forth between which one I like more, Alien or Aliens. I was kind of thinking of movies that are, for sure, I like the sequels better. That's why I brought up X-Men 2, Terminator 2. Those movies, I think, are above and beyond better than the original, whereas Aliens is just a great kind of companion piece to Alien. They're very different movies, which I appreciate. It's rare when a sequel will kind of do different things than the first and have it pay off. Usually they do the safe route and they make the same kind of movie. Aliens is an action sci-fi flick, whereas Alien is a sci-fi horror flick. And they both work so well. I like Video Void. I was going to say the same thing about Back to the Future. In the first, I don't think it's worse. I think that they are very much in line. Back to the Future 3, however, I do think is a step down, but it's still a great trilogy all the way through. Born Ultimatum says I don't know how to say that. Solskjaer. Yeah, nobody is good for what it was. That's exactly right. Favorite British movie? Welshman watching at 4:35 a.m. here. Oh my, that's amazing. And I'll probably disappoint you. I don't know what like a straight British movie is. Like Downton Abbey the movie? I guess it would be like Monty Python sort of a thing. A Fish Called Wanda. Was that British? Or did that just have British people in it? I have a hard time knowing if it's an American movie featuring British actors or if it's a British movie that was popular in America. A Fish Called Wanda is that's a classic. I'm trying to think. Are the Bond movies are British, right? I can't say I'm a huge Bond guy though. I like the Bond movies. I don't love really any of them. Oh, good. Fish Called Wanda is great. That he's allowing that, I think. Yeah, John Cleese is just a treasure. That guy's freaking hilarious in everything he's in. I even like the silly movie, which is a remake of Cannonball Run called Rat Race. It has a bunch of B-listers and C-listers and then a couple A-listers in the mix, like John Cleese and Kathy Bates. It's one of those movies that it has just a massive ensemble cast of hodgepodged people from all over. You have like Smash Mouth playing in it. You have Dana Carvey in it. No, not Dana Carvey. I'm sorry. What's his name? Who's the guy that was in High School High? John Lovett. John Lovett's in it. Seth Green is in it. It's so random. Mr. Bean is in there. I enjoy that movie for what it is. I see my wife is in the chat. Are you throwing shade at Dunkirk? That's not a British movie. That's a Christopher Nolan movie. Digital Dosage asks, what encouraged you to get into film review on YouTube? A few different things. I've always been into movies, and that was thanks to my father, R.I.P. He died when I was 16. I keep the original video camera he gave me in the back over there. It's in the corner next to the X-Files collection. He was obviously a big proponent of that. I remember I worked with him for a while. He worked at a plumbing and heating he managed a plumbing and heating warehouse supply company. And we lived in New Ulm for 2 years. We moved quite a bit. We were like army brats, but we weren't. He was the guy that would kind of come in and clean up the poor management at some of these places. So we lived in New Ulm and worked out of Mankato in Minnesota. And I remember his last day of work, tell me, and he's like, hey, you want to go get lunch? we go get lunch, and he's like, do you want to go to Deep Blue Sea? I'm like, don't we have to get back to work? He's like, don't worry about it. We watched Deep Blue Sea, which was awesome. And then he tells me afterwards that he quit his job and he already had like 2 other offers lined up. But the fact that he was so just casual about it and didn't really make me worry, you know, like a kid would worry if his dad lost his job as a high schooler, just a baller move. But yeah, we saw Deep Blue Sea. That movie was really fun. There's just so many moments like that through my life with him that I can think back and say, okay, I saw Saving Private Ryan when I was 14 or 13, fell asleep in class the next day because the movie didn't get done till 1 a.m. on like a Thursday, or on a Friday night or Thursday night, whatever. Well, it would have been Thursday night. Friday that wouldn't make sense. But there's so many of those moments. Independence Day I saw with him the first time and ended up going 2 more times. Fifth Element, like I can think of all these moments. So yeah, he was a huge inspiration. I watched a ton of movies at home as well, and I would watch like Siskel and Ebert review and debate movies. And then once the internet got really popular, people were starting to kind of spit up on YouTube that were doing the movie thing. I remember watching Nostalgia Critic a lot and thinking he was really funny. I didn't always agree with him, but he was very good at it. He's very good at kind of making me laugh and making me think back to these nostalgic films. Angry Video Game Nerd was in the video game nerd space, but he was just so clever and witty with the way he showcased stuff. And I was looking at some of the more basic reviewers like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns and all those guys. They had their shtick, right? And they had huge audiences. And I just thought I could do this and have my own little style where I would debate movies. And so that's me and my coworker Corey back in, oh my God, I don't even know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we would get in fights about movies. And so I'm like, let's do this. Let's be a new age Siskel and Ebert. And we'll debate movies in a more YouTube style way. And yeah, so we did, and it was a blast. So that's why I do movie reviews, because it's a passion of mine. I've had inspiration from different people in the past to keep doing it, and so I do. That was a long walk. Video Void says, X-Files, great show that unfortunately went on too long and lost steam. I agree, Video Void. It was a fantastic show. I actually didn't even watch the newish, it's not new anymore, but didn't they do like 3 newer seasons after season 9 of the show? They took 10 years off, made a really horrible second movie, and then Chris Carter came back and they did a few more seasons. I didn't watch more than a couple episodes of it. I just didn't have any interest anymore. Illiterate firmament. I can't even say that. Firmament? Illiterate Firmament says gives a $5 super chat and yells at me movie stuff. He doesn't want to hear the backstory. He wants more movie stuff. Or maybe he's excited that we're talking movies, and so that's why. Either way, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Bubba says, and you're damn good at it. Thank you, Bubba. I appreciate that, sir. Jill Anderson is an all-time Fox. Gillian Anderson, yes. Scully. Very, very much so. Very much so. It sucks that she was pregnant through most of the early... I feel like Gillian Anderson was pregnant more often than not through X-Files. They always had her in those lumpy trench coats walking around. Like she was smuggling in boxes of candy to the theater. I'll be right there, Mulder. Andrew Wood says, movie everyone hates that you love. This comes up a lot, and I used to think it was Speed Racer, the Emile Hirsch film, but every time I bring it up, there's like a bunch of people that are like, hell yeah, that movie's great. I'm sure there's a couple that I think are great and people think suck, but Speed Racer was always the one I would bring up, and I would imagine people would recoil at hearing it and be like, that movie's garbage. But almost everyone's like, yeah, Speed Racer is really cool. Another one that I imagine people don't like, but I thought was freaking great was Real Steel, the Hugh Jackman Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. it's definitely a movie you have to give a chance to breathe, because the first half hour or so, you're like, what am I watching? And then it all kind of starts to take shape in the second half. There's got to be, I mean, I'm sure there's movies I like that are considered trash. There's definitely a bunch of cheesy action movies that I grew up on and I think are still pretty fun, but are probably considered garbage by a lot of people. And I'm sure if I watched it today, it would be really bad. The Transporter movies, the first two, I eat those up, or I did. I haven't seen them in a long time. Transporter 3, I remember being kind of crappy, but the first two I thought were pretty damn entertaining. Movies of that nature, you know, just the one man versus a whole bunch of people. God, I always ate that up. Video Void says, I love Super Mario Brothers from the 90s. Honestly, not ironically. Yeah, Video Void, I mean, I hate that movie. I think it's garbage. But my buddy Chris, he kind of unapologetically liked that movie. I would catch him watching that quite often when I would just bounce over to his place when we were younger. And I wouldn't really say anything. I would silently judge him. But, it was just kind of like one of those unspoken things between us. That was something we had to work through in our friendship, was that he secretly, at first, was kind of hiding the fact that he liked that Super Mario Brothers movie. But I think later on kind of owned up to it and championed it. First film you remember seeing at the theater? Babe here. The pig? Babe the talking pig? The first movie I remember seeing at the theater? I know it's not the first. Okay, I saw Beauty and the Beast in the theater. I saw Lion King. Which one came out first? Lion King? Or Beauty and the Beast probably came out first. Then Lion King, then Aladdin. If I'm thinking this right. I had to have seen movies before that. God, I can think of one. I can think of one that's. I think one that's pretty trash. I saw it with my brother and my mom. It was called Rock-a-Doodle. I don't think a lot of people probably know what this movie is. Rock-a-Doodle, it was a rooster, Elvis-style cartoon character. Very bizarre movie. It started out as live action. I remember going to the movie with my mom and brother, and we thought we were in the wrong movie because, and I don't know why, I don't remember the trailer ever showing live action stuff, but I probably didn't even see a trailer because I was just a kid. The first 10 minutes is live action, so we were like, is this the right movie? We almost left, and then it transitions to cartoon, and I remember thinking that was a weird movie, even as a kid. I can't say I hated it, but I bet it's probably pretty garbage now. Yeah, mine was always Con Air, but now it's loved. Oh, Con Air is a classic. If Con Air was considered a bad movie, then I guess I have bad taste, because Con Air is fantastic. Oh, I know a movie. Matt actually, I think it was Matt. No, it was Bless. DJ Bless, notorious for liking Black Adam. So take that as you will. He gives me a hard time because I am a fan of Broken Arrow, but not because I think it's a good movie. I think it's just fun as hell. It's got really bad acting from the actress, who I believe, to come full circle, is in that Super Mario Brothers 90s film. She plays Daisy. She's in Broken Arrow. Just terrible actress here. We have Howie Long in, I believe, his actorial debut as one of the henchmen. You have Christian Slater in one of his final big movie releases. It was that, and he did Hard Rain back to back, and both of them I don't think did very well, if I recall. So that was kind of the end of him as a leading man for a very long time. I think forever, actually. He did Mr. Robot, but even there he wasn't the leading guy. Who's the main villain? Why can't I think of his name? He had this perfect schlocky villain thing he did in Face Off as well, Why don't I remember his name? Oh, it bothers the shit out of me. I can't remember it. Someone will tell me in the comments, who's the main guy, the main villain? I said, God damn, what a rush. It's right on the tip of my tongue. He's in the Look Who's Talking movies, Staying Alive. John Travolta. Okay, someone put it right when I said it, so I'm not video void. You don't get the credit. I said it right at the same time. It's John Travolta, yeah. Travolta's a great villain. Digital Dosage says, love the channel, thanks. Would love to see a review on the film Moon. Beautiful super chat from Digital Dosage. Well, Digital Dosage, I don't know if you know this, but if you are a Patreon at the Mithril level, you might be. I don't recall a request coming in though for Moon. If you are a Patreon or YouTube join member at the Mithril level, you can request a movie I think it's every 4 months that you stay on, and I have to review it. I have to give myself that 4-month bumper. It's 3 month. You get 4 movies a year. I give myself a 3-month bumper just to make sure that I can get to everyone. But yeah, you could sign up and say, Adam, you have to watch Moon. I am, although, kind of encouraging people to give me... I'm trying to give people requests that are at least somewhat relevant today that would do decent on the YouTube algorithm. But if you really want me to do Moon, you could become a member over there. And yeah, you get access to 300 exclusive videos too. So that's another perk at any of the membership levels. So even if you're a $1 Patreon or YouTube join member, there's a catalog of videos, separate playlists that go to a secret second channel that has Adam Rant's issues, which are stupid things like the toilet paper being put on the wrong way, Buffalo Wild Wings not releasing a lot of just nonsensical rants. There's game feuds on there. There's Adam Rant's movies, videos that were too spicy for the channel, and I had to put them elsewhere. A lot of good stuff hidden in those playlists. The cringe, like a lot of different a lot of different shows that I don't do anymore. WHR Recordings is not a Patreon, but he smashed that like button, and that helps too. You have to smash the like button. You got to punch it, you got to kick it, roundhouse it, whatever it takes. Everyone, oh God, Bubba just will not let the movie Out Cold leave his body. Let it go away. I'm not gonna see Out Cold. Video Void says, if I wasn't broke, I'd pay just for the Last Dragon review. Not relevant though. Whatever. I mean, I've reviewed some real doozies. We got a $2 Euro super chat. What's the sexiest movie of all time? Spicy. Souls. I can't say the names. Is it Saul's Kajir? Saul's Kajir? 1999. I could just call you 1999 for shorthand. What's the sexiest movie of all time? Let me drink on it. I'm trying to think of the movie that made me become a man. That made me feel something. Lindsay, I've seen plenty. I've seen plenty of romance, okay? Matt says Showgirls. No, Matt, it wasn't Showgirls. It would have been before that. There was actually, I mean, it wasn't the sexiest, but I remember having to watch like a National Geographic documentary in school one time, and the teacher even warned us ahead of time, mainly the boys, that there was going to be some topless women because it was part of a tribe. And I remember thinking, okay, so this is new. This is something that I think I'm into now. And that wasn't the sexiest thing I've ever seen, but that was definitely the start of what was surely to come. Sexiest movie? That's a great question. I would really have to think on it. Honestly. I don't know. Fantastic question. Charlie's Angels made me a man in 2000. Have Have you ever seen Steven Seagal Lawn Man, where he was a deputy reserve officer? I have not. I try to avoid Steven Seagal movies at all costs. He had Under Siege. That was pretty much it. Glimmer Man. Didn't he have a movie with like DMX at one point? He's a disaster of a person too. If I was a coming of age child when Cats came out, that would have been a very confusing time for me. I'll say that much. Things might have turned out a little differently. I'll kind of simmer on. I'll let this stew. Sexiest movie. While people ask questions. Wild Things was up there. I do remember that. You had Kevin Bacon showing his bacon at one point. You had Neve Campbell. And you had the third lady, Denise Richards. Neve Campbell, Denise Richards. God. How do you feel about the Yellowstone franchise? I think it's bad. I really don't like it. We have so many family members that just eat up Yellowstone. They're like, Adam, Lindsay, you have to watch Yellowstone. It's the greatest show. It's so good. We watched a few episodes. We found it so lame and so stupid. I don't get it. I truly don't get Yellowstone. I think it's for an older audience, maybe an older generation that really liked Kevin Costner. I like Kevin Costner. I don't like Yellowstone, or I imagine any of the spin-offs. You had Denise Richards at the drop of a hat, but Travolta took brain power. I know, and I've seen so many John Travolta movies. I don't think I've seen more than 3 Denise Richards movies. When's the last time she was even in a movie? Was she in the Starsky and Hutch film? No, that was Carmen Electra, and I can't remember who the other person was. You know, it really saddens me that I don't have any, like, sexiest movies that just jump into the top of my head. I'm pretty sure a Britney Spears music video was probably the thing that I found to be the most tantalizing back in the day. That's probably what did it, a music video more than a movie. Sicario and Hell or Highway, we are so good by him, though. I haven't seen Yellowstone. Yeah, I know. You don't need to see Yellowstone. It's schlock. Anything Cameron Diaz or Heather Locklear. Andrew has good taste. Cameron Diaz in The Mask is definitely peak Cameron Diaz. For me, it was the Stacy's Mom music video. Was that by Fountains of Wayne? Or are you talking about the original? I think there was a different version of Stacy's Mom. I'm thinking of the Fountains of Wayne one. American Pie was a sexy movie. I mean, I was in high school when American Pie came out. That was kind of primo shit. That scene with the webcam, what was that actress's name? The Blind Mask picks up a YouTube Silver membership. Beautiful. Thank you, The Blind Mask. Welcome. Enjoy the Adam Does Movies catalog on the second channel, Adam Olinger. You can find those in some of the community posts. You have access to exclusive community posts, and you can see the playlists in there. I actually think, you know what? I have a new playlist I have to add that has 40 or 50 exclusive Adam Rant's movies reviews that Matt actually asked about a couple days ago. I'm like, Matt, you're right. I don't actually have those up there for people. So I have to post that. Hopefully I remember after this stream to post that for YouTube members. I know I posted it to Patreon like 2 days ago. Cameron Diaz was smoking in The Mask. Absolutely. James says Eurotrip, that hot tub scene in the beginning. Yeah, I haven't seen Eurotrash. I haven't seen Eurotrip, so I guess I can't speak to that. Yeah, Bubba, I know my wife isn't on the chat. That's okay. My wife, Lindsay, has made many of comments about attractive celebrity men. We're not really a threat to each other. I don't imagine Brad Pitt's going to be walking down the street tomorrow and Lindsay's going to, seduce him. I don't think Scarlett Johansson's going to be at the playground down the street and she just looks over at me and is like, you know what? That's the guy I want to be with. We're not threatened by each other appreciating other actors. There's good-looking people all over. Harriet the Spy. Is the actress that did Harriet in Harriet the Spy, is she the one that's in jail? I know one of those Nickelodeon girls was part of like an underground sex ring or something. I think it's the Harriet the Spy chick. I don't want to get that wrong though. That's kind of a big allegation to throw at her, but I know one of those Nickelodeon girls that was on She's All That. Was that a show? One of those girls was part of something pretty sketchy. Cool World with Kim Basinger. Video Void. Now here's a question that's going to be paramount to answer. Kim Basinger in Cool World as the animated cartoon version or Kim Basinger as herself? Now the question's on you. I said it before, but I say it again, Water Wars. Water Wars is a great film franchise that only a few people have seen because I made it. Thoughts on other YouTube film reviewers, good or bad, favorite, least favorite, says Digital Dosage. Video Void hedged his bets and said both on the Cool World. I think easily the cartoon version is better. But that's fine. Andrew Wood says Amanda Bynes maybe? Hang on, we have to get to the bottom of this. I said some pretty horrible allegation about Alex. What was her name again? It wasn't Alex. I was going to say Alex Mack. That's not the person. Now I got to find it. It wasn't Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes is just a train wreck. I'm looking for that comment. I mean, someone else could look this up. What's the actress's name that we're talking about? Was it the girl from Smallville? No. It was not the girl from Smallville. It was. I'm pretty sure it was this actress that they said earlier, and I forgot the name. Let me look up Nickelodeon star part of. It was like sex trafficking. Okay, the Smallville actress was charged with sex. Yeah, it's Allison Mack. I didn't realize she was in Smallville. Smallville. Jesus. Yeah, Allison Mack. Oof. Maybe that's what threw me off. Okay. Well, there you have it. Souls, God, 1999 we're saying. $2 Euro super chat. Which film is objectively the greatest ever? Objectively? I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you can objectively say which movie's the greatest. You have like a team of film scientists, like the cinematography here is 1-to-1 perfect. The script is 100% pure, authentic. I don't think there's any objectively perfect movie or greatest film ever. What was it? What was it I would say though for like, I mean, my favorite movie I'm wearing is Jurassic Park. I know that there's plenty of problems with the movie, but that's what I go to movies for, are movies like this, where it's so different than anything that came before it. You really see the talent poured into every frame of that film, from the animatronics to the completely futuristic at the time CG work they were doing, to the great cast. But again, that's a Hollywood type perfect movie to me. There's dramatic type films, there's comedies. You could go anywhere with it, really. Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to? Did I skip out on answering something before? Oh, thoughts on other YouTube film reviewers, good or bad, favorite or least favorite. So I don't watch any other film critics right now. I used to watch Nostalgia Critic like years and years ago. Basically, the Pink Floyd Wall video was kind of the final drop in the bucket for me, because that was maybe the worst thing I'd ever seen on YouTube. I'm not kidding. That was so cringy. If you haven't seen Nostalgia Critic's review of Pink Floyd's The Wall, just try to get through 2 minutes of that. It's a challenge I give to you, and it's not one you should take lightly. Good movie YouTube critics. Obviously, Red Letter Media is fantastic. I would highly recommend anyone who's not following Red Letter Media to check them out. They are very funny. They have a Tim and Eric style comedic timing to them. They have a great production. They have like a full studio where they do their show. They have set pieces. Like, it's a whole thing. They play characters. It's so well done. And they're very funny guys. They do a lot of off the beaten path reviews on old VHS movies. Great show. I haven't watched them in a long time, but I respect the hell out of them. And the only reason I haven't really watched them is I'm just kind of busy with stuff in my own life, and I just don't have a lot of time. I like Jeremy Jahns. I like the guy. He seems like a cool dude. I don't watch his stuff. But I respect that he's been doing it for a long time. He made the review scene his own, like, way early on. I never cared for Chris Stuckman, ever. I find him to be incredibly bland, incredibly boring, kind of braggadocious about going to movies early and his collection and everything. That doesn't mean I don't like him. I like most people. I don't know Chris Stuckman. He's probably a very nice guy. And he's making a movie right now, so mad props to him for making his dream come true. He has a huge fan base. He's super reliable when he puts movie reviews out. I mean, he's not reliable anymore. He had a thing that... He came out with a video a couple years back now where he said he's never going to do a negative movie review. I heard that. I didn't see the video. If that's true, that's maybe the most cowardly thing I've ever heard, because he's trying to be nice and rub elbows with people in Hollywood now. That's just sad to me. That's depressing. So I don't care for Chris Stuckman stuff, but respect for being in the game for so long and really kind of doing, the next big thing with it. Trying to think. I like Flickinger. Flickinger's a cool dude. I've kind of jabbed at him over the years just for fun. I've poked at him in videos and comments and stuff, and he's always been really cool about it. And we've had a bunch of like one-on-one dialogue privately and messages. I really like Hack the Movies. Tony is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's constantly like inviting me onto his show to do streams and do little one-off things with him. And we just chat all the time. Jonathan Paula, who doesn't really make he hasn't made movie reviews in a long time. I appreciated how he was such a hard worker. He really cared about the types of movie reviews he did. It wasn't about being first to market. It was about crafting a really good video. And he absolutely did every time. I talked to watch any movie critics. Yeah. I despise the fandom menace or whatever the hell they are. The Geeks and Gamers, Yellowfish. There is honestly there's a bunch of them. They're like the far right movie critic world. Brie Larson, Kathleen Kennedy. It's all the same flavors every time. To me, that's just that's trash. That's really bad. You're smut, you're a tabloid gossip video channel that just riles up hate for the industry and doesn't actually offer up anything insightful. It's just constantly bashing on the same people and things, and it's disgusting. I don't. It saddens me that I have viewers here that think they're cool or like their stuff and think they're funny, because that's not what movies is to me. I don't understand. Whatever. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I missed a bunch of stuff because I was rambling. Hey, if you want your question answered, super chat it and I'll for sure answer it. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of cherry pick them. But if you do throw a super chat out, you get a question answered for sure. Digital Dosage agrees. Yes, Mike and Jay all the way. And Rich Evans. Rich Evans is so freaking funny. He has the most hilarious laugh, and the way he goes, "Oh my God!" It's just so good. Those guys are great. I wish they would acknowledge my existence, although I haven't tried to reach out to them for many years, but I used to want to be on that show so bad, and I would kind of annoy them and try to message them to pay attention to me, but I understand I'm very small, peanuts compared to what they have to deal with. $19.99 asks, what is the film that means the most to you? Not because of the film itself, but because of the memories you have of it. There's like a lot. I was listing them off earlier with my dad, but obviously Jurassic Park, again, I saw that with my mom in theaters. I thought the movie was freaking amazing. I was the perfect age to see it. I was probably 11 or 12. It scared me. It amazed me. My mom and I didn't go to many movies together, so that was already a blast. I saw, what did I see? What the hell's it called? The Sixth Sense. Was it The Sixth Sense? Yeah, it would have been The Sixth Sense. I saw that with my mom and dad in the theater. We were blown away by that film back in the day. The twist was amazing. It put M. Night Shyamalan on the map. Looking back on the film now, not the greatest, but when it hit theaters, it really was something special. There's a lot of those types of movies for sure where I look back on just they're kind of like that time capsule film where right place, right time, right age. It just all comes together so well. Seeing Happy Gilmore in theaters with my brother and dad, I don't think I ever laughed so hard in a movie theater than I did in that. I was actually just talking about this with a buddy a couple days ago, how I wanted to do a top 10 movie theater experiences video. I'm not sure if anybody's done that before. I think that would be really fun. One movie for sure that was an absolute blast to watch in the theater, and it's not a very good movie, is Waterboy with Adam Sandler. I remember seeing that with my dad and my brother in Missouri, of all places. We were going to see my cousins, and I guess we were early or something, or my dad just wanted to see Waterboy. We went, and it was a theater right next to the college campus, and the whole football team and fans were at this theater when that movie was showing. So every hit of a football helmet or a guy hitting the ground, everyone's cheering, standing up, yelling. It was awesome. I have that with Batman Returns as well. We saw that opening night way back in the day. Dark out, kind of rainy, ominous. It felt like Gotham City in St. Cloud going to this movie. Packed house, freaking awesome experience. There's tons of those. I remember seeing a movie with my wife and our buddies. Saw. I remember thinking it was really bad. And then that twist hits at the end. I'm like, this was a bad movie, but damn it, that twist made it pretty awesome. I still don't like Saw very much, but man, I thought that twist was so good. And it made the whole thing worth watching. And oh my God, one of my favorite movie experiences was with my wife, Lindsay. It was kind of a precursor to our first date, where I slowly moved my hand onto hers when we were sitting down next to each other. It was a bunch of us going to the movie as friends to Hannibal, which I do not like that movie. And that's probably why I was more interested in Lindsay. So I just kind of like casually started getting to the point where I grabbed her hand, like claiming her almost. Like, what do you think about this? You cool with this? You're mine now. And then that was that led into a first date where I of course took her to maybe the fanciest meal of her life at Applebee's. We're high school sweethearts, so it's not like I was rolling in the dough. What was the first R-rated movie? Theater or VHS? Mine's Terminator at age 7. My parents drank a lot. First R-rated movie. Okay, I think I saw RoboCop. I know I saw RoboCop when I was very young. I don't think I could tell you the age. RoboCop came out in 87 or 89. I know RoboCop came out right on the cusp of the 90s. I think it was 87. I know I saw it when it hit VHS. Probably the first week it came out because we didn't see it in theaters. And it came out pretty closely to, I think, Batman, the first Batman. Maybe it was 89. Well, whatever. Movies back in the day did not come out on streaming services in 3 weeks like freaking Shazam 2. I think that comes out next week, or it might already be streaming. That's nuts. It took a good year, sometimes longer, for movies to hit VHS. So whenever RoboCop hit 82, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would have been 7 when I watched RoboCop. Granted, my parents did like half-assedly say, "Close your eyes, Adam," when that mech like goes into the room. It just mows everyone down. Yeah, I watched that. That was good stuff. Star Wars for me, says Digital Dosage, wasn't old enough to see the original in theaters, but from the moment I saw it, I was changed. Really think that sense of wonder had led to my career of design and animation. Well, that's awesome. I saw way too many R-rated movies as a kid. I saw The Exorcist at 9. Jesus. That's magical. That's magical time at the movies. The Exorcist. I haven't seen the new Exorcist movie. I'm not a big Exorcist guy. The whole interesting. Like the head spinning around, people crawling on the walls, a child saying things in a demonic tongue. It's all very been there, done that. It's kind of old hat for me. Maybe it's good. It just looks kind of same old, same old. Straight Facts says Shazam already streaming. Ant-Man streams in a few weeks. That is nuts. To go back to Beauty and the Beast, I feel like that movie took for freaking ever to come out on VHS when it was in theaters. Like 2 years or something. Maybe it was just me being an impatient kid, but it seemed like an eternity from when that was in theaters to when it came home to VHS. It was probably like 3 months, for all I know. That was the one time I remember feeling like Cartman from South Park when he was waiting for the Nintendo Wii to come out and he's standing outside the game store and he's like, "Come in, come in." That was me with Beauty and the Beast. I'm just like, "Come on, give me it, give me it." I'm probably the only person who likes the RoboCop remake. You're not the only person, Larry. There's always more than one. There's always more than one. It had moments. It definitely had moments. The suit was kind of cool. The all black Dark Knight style robot suit. Yeah, Disney used to have the vault. Don't remind me of that stupid thing. Starship Troopers may be my manhood and R-rated film answer. Oh man, yeah, Starship Troopers had some funny kind of soft nudity scenes. Like they're in the showers, co-ed showers at one point. It's all kind of towards the beginning too. They're like, all right, we're gonna get a bunch of nudity in this movie right out of the gates. First 20 minutes, 2 or 3 different nude shots before we get into the killing of the bugs. So random. It was so out of nowhere too. They're in the shower and then she's just kind of like hanging around. I remember they probably still do. I know they still do this, but there was a while when movies would go to cable and they went hog wild with the CG covering up of nudity in movies and like censoring. The censoring was out of control. I remember in Starship Troopers, they digitally added towels to the ladies that were naked in the film. Like, they paid someone to go in and add towels so that they could air it on TV, as opposed to just cutting out the scene or just saying screw it, not airing the show at all. It's wild that they did that. And they did stuff like that all the time for a few years. They just went nuts with it. They're like, we can put towels on people. We can extend hair. We can do all sorts of wild stuff. Straight Facts asks, how do you feel about the Daredevil show coming out? I feel nothing about the Daredevil show coming out. I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix. I think it went 3. I don't know why. I felt like when Elektra came on, Elektra always ruins everything in these movies and shows. I didn't care for Elektra in Daredevil. It kind of got too Looney Tunes. It was such a good grounded show at first. And as they kept adding more of these comic book characters, it lost me. So I never even watched. If there was a 3rd season, I didn't watch it. Co-ed showers. That movie was so progressive and I didn't even notice. Exactly, Andrew. Because it didn't hit you over the head with the progressive. It just went there. It just slid it in. And you didn't even think about it. That's how they used to do it. It was smart. All right, let's wrap up. It's getting almost to 12:30 here, and I know it's a wild Friday night, and it feels right, but this cat didn't get very good sleep last night, so I'm getting a little tuckered out. We got videos to edit, too, for the week. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got to get that Hard Candy review out the door for a Patreon request. I got Megamind to review for next week. We got good stuff coming up. Got good stuff coming up. So any final questions, shoot them out. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap up here shortly. Oh, so Straight Facts says there was a 3rd season and it was terrible. Okay, well, yeah. There you go. Bubba says, night, thanks for the fun start to the weekend. Matt says cats. It's on the list, Matt. It's on the list. Right with Jojo Rabbit and couple other recommendations. Peace out, Video Void. Thank you for watching. James, thanks for watching. Oh, shit. I forgot how to say it again. Defent? I said I was going to remember. Defent? Love you. Love you too, even though I forgot how to say your name. Maybe I'll call you Vent for short. I may have also been distracted. Your point stands, though. Good night, Mr. Adam. Thank you, Andrew. Good night, Adam. Good night, Bruce. All right, we're shutting it down. Just a reminder, Tuesday's the next live stream. Hopefully, starting Monday. Deaf Vent. Thank you, Bubba. Hopefully, starting on Monday, I will have YouTube Shorts Monday through Friday, and on TikTok Monday through Friday, like 2 or 3 a day, if I played my cards right and my family stepped up and did their job. We'll have shorts going. It's all going to be stuff it's just clips from the regular show, but these will help bring in new subscribers. It'll help me grow the TikTok and hopefully port people over to YouTube as well. That's the game. Tuesday live stream at 10. We'll be doing movie news and then look for a bunch of movie content along the week. All right, take care.